Hey, what's up, guys? This is the first episode of the Horizon Report created by Closed Horizon. And I've got Alex here, and we're going to talk to you guys today about why rewards work.
What's up, everybody? We've never done this before, so we're just going to chat, and you guys can watch us chat about all the things that go through our minds daily.
Yeah, and how we made a reward program for the world's number one pedophile.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But they work, and there's a reason why they work. And so I think we can talk a little bit about our background and how we came upon this. And because I don't know, I never thought that I would be opening a company that offers reward payments. That wasn't like my dream as a child, but it works.
Yeah, they're effective because it creates an incentive to do a thing, right? We put money out there. This is what we learned in the government. So Alex and I became friends when we worked as contractors for a uh, company that supported the Rewards for Justice program at the Department of State. And so they're responsible for creating reward programs for all the bad guys that the national security apparatus in DC says these are the guys that we want to go after. And they're really effective. And we got to see the inside of this and both manage these reward programs and also the intelligence that we would get from them. And then thought we should do this for everybody. Like, how do we allow anyone to create their own reward program? So we built Closed Horizon, which now allows anyone to create a reward program for anything that they care about. So example would be like GoFundMe for Truth, where people put money into a reward pool and then someone comes forward because they want to be paid for the truth that they know. And we're basically creating a marketplace where people who want truth can be connected to people who have direct knowledge and exclusive information that can ultimately get that money. And so today we're going to talk about why this works and why it's so effective and why we've seen it work over and over and over again in the US government.
Yeah, and the question doesn't need to be large. That's what's great about it is you can have a small question. You can have a local question about something that's going on in your neighborhood, something that's going on in your local city, or you can go, all the way and try to get information on the greatest pedophile the world's ever known. So there's no barrier to entry on this really. Um, the whole point of getting someone to talk about something they know about is you want to find the line between this somebody has to have the internal struggle of what do I benefit if I speak, what do I benefit if I stay silent, and you need to find a way to tip them into speaking, and usually that's with a dollar amount.
Yeah, you want to make it expensive to stay quiet, where in the back of their mind, they're like, oh man, I could get paid 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever it is for information that they have. Like, if someone came to me and they said, hey man, you have this thing that no one else knows, and I'm going to pay you this much for it. Will you come tell it to me? I would probably initially be afraid to tell that thing. And then over time, I would start to think, oh, okay, like I could do it and be safe this way. I could make sure that if I reveal this information, I'm actually paid for it. And it incentivizes people who otherwise would stay quiet and would never say anything. And that's what we built for Epstein. So Alex is right. Like, we don't have to have this reward program for anything major. I mean, it doesn't have to be something that is like the number one pedophile that we still believe exists and is not dead. It can be something like uh, you see cover ups all the time in local communities. So it can be like who did sexual abuse in a local church and covered it up, right? Like that's extremely common stuff. There's stories like that all the time. Or who poisoned our 100-year-old oak tree in our community center, right? Like these kinds of crimes are ones ripe for cover-ups, and it doesn't have to be something that is sensational like anything related to Epstein. It's brokering a relationship between people who have the knowledge about something that actually impacted a community and the people who want those answers to prevent really any kind of cover-up from continuing to happen.
Yeah, and I think when people think about what a person may know, people think, well, like I have an idea or I saw this thing, but I don't have the entire answer. And so therefore I wouldn't write into a program and answer their question, or I wouldn't respond to the US government because I don't know everything about this terrorist organization, but that's not the point. The point is that you know a piece of information, and it's through multiple pieces of information that you can build the bigger picture. And so it's not about somebody who can respond and has all of the the golden bullet or the silver bullet. It's about, hey, you saw something, or you knew a phone number, or you knew a place and a time, and that corroborates, when you're giving that information, that usually can be corroborated and it can build out the full picture. And so in the US government, they do this through different types of intelligence. So there's signals intelligence, and human intelligence, and open source intelligence, and geospatial intelligence. The list goes on. And rewards program latches on to the human intelligence component, extracts information from a human being, which that information can then be digested and can be used to facilitate other types of intelligence. So if you report a phone number, if you report an image, that image or that phone number then can be used and exploited through other intelligence ways. And so I want to communicate that to viewers that when people are writing in and they have information, it doesn't need to be, I know where Epstein is right now. It's maybe you saw something, or maybe you think you saw something, or maybe you have a friend who saw something or knows something. And so these little pieces of information at scale create a large picture.
Yeah, and that's really the way that we put the evidence together. So the evidence on Epstein isn't dead.org is in the totality tells a story. Each individual piece in and of itself is not always determinative, and some of them I think are, but not every piece is. And this is how you put together any kind of investigation, right? You take it a piece at a time. And so we believe that there are people out there that have a piece of this, and we're starting to see people come forward with pieces of information that are interesting. And it doesn't have to be something that is deliberately determinative. You don't have to say like, okay, he's at these coordinates, like Alex is saying, like this is exactly where he is. But was he seen after his death? Was he observed really anywhere at any place after August of 2019? And if so, like, how do we corroborate that and get to the ground truth on whether the people who are claiming that are one, who they claim to be, and two, their claims are legitimate. So reward programs are effective because these people are incentivized to come forward. And the cool thing about them is they will incentivize inner circle betrayal. So if someone has a reward out for them, all of their associates that are around them, or all of the people that they employ, or their gardener, or their driver, or anyone that is directly involved in their sphere of influence, is a risk now. So they are concerned about everyone who has any information about them, and hiding someone in the case of Epstein is logistically complex. It is difficult to keep someone concealed because you have to rely on things to keep them alive, like surgeons and medical professionals, plastic surgeons, for example, or you'd have to rely on, maids and housekeepers and drivers and security and all of the kinds of things that are required in the infrastructure to conceal a big secret. And those are the people that we want to talk to.
And another point of that is that having a reward out and having a lot of people know about it, usually the word out, in our case, this has been terrorist organizations or leaders of criminal organizations and Epstein. And what the reward does, it also delays harm. And so, kind of Ryan's point is that the people who are providing logistical support, the people that you're communicating with, maybe because now there's a word out, you're analyzing the risk a little bit more, and so your communication with them is a little bit slower. Maybe it's on a different type of platform. Maybe you move different platforms. Um, all of that is in the totality delaying the ability to do things. And in most cases, in our backgrounds, it was harm. In this case, it can still be harm. Epstein can still harm people, but he has to maybe think about things more carefully, vet people more diligently, and all of that is time working against him. And so that's an important component, is that it's also a mechanism to delay.
Yeah. Yeah, delay and restrict. It
Mm,
it makes it difficult to move. So closing horizons is done by reward programs because people who historically have been able to go and do whatever they want to can't do that anymore. So if you're Epstein and you're used to flying all over the world, you're going to your island, you're going to Manhattan, you're going to Paris, you're going to Saudi Arabia. This has been what he's done for decades. So if you're a person who is wanted or a fugitive, you're going to have to hide. And you're going to even be further restricted if there's a reward program out for you because everyone who sees you, everyone who knows your eye color, everyone who knows the plate of the car that you're being moved around in or where you're sleeping, or all of the people that are involved in the logistical infrastructure to protect this person are a risk. And so it has to really, the only option is to stay in one place. And that is what we mean by closing horizons is the accessibility to the world for people operating outside the law drops drastically when reward programs that are active and meaningful are out there.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, finding and fixing. I mean, the military uses this terminology, but that's what a war program can do. Is it can find out where the individual is, but it also can fix them to a location. Well, by fixing them, you can get more information on them, but you also can, in like a military context, you can do things to them. You can grab them, you can attack them, you can whatever you want to do to them. In our case, fixing just creates more opportunities for somebody to observe, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for proof of life. There's also the psychological aspect of it. Um, Life isn't as enjoyable when you're constantly questioning everybody you're interacting with and whether they're going to sell you out. And maybe people like him don't care about that stuff, but I'd like to believe that they do, um, because it just makes me feel better that they're constantly a little bit paranoid and I'm disrupting their psyche a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's another bonus to it.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is it makes you not feel helpless anymore. Like it actually works. We know it works. And the worst feeling I think about a lot of this stuff is that we just feel helpless. We just feel terrible because we can't do anything about it. Our Congress people aren't doing anything. Our FBI is completely corrupt at the top. The DOJ is the same thing, and we've seen evidence of this over and over. So it really means that we have to innovate. There has to be innovation in a place where there's a really, really hard problem and allowing anyone to create a reward program using technology. So we combine technology and community, and in doing that, have an option or a tool that can surface truth when other people whose jobs it is to surface truth are not doing it. So if you're the FBI, your job is to surface the truth, bring it into a courtroom, bring it to the light of the day, and have a criminal justice outcome. They're not doing that. Maybe they will in the future. Maybe this issue is going to persist beyond this administration and beyond this FBI and DOJ leadership. But in the meantime, how do we solve this really hard problem? And the answer is using technology and community to do it, where if you put a reward out there, it creates a global manhunt for this person where everyone who knows about the reward has in the back of their mind, if I see this guy, if I learn something about him, if I discover something, whether they're related to him or not, whether they're directly connected in some way, they're an associate or they're somehow involved in the cover up and logistical complexity of that, they know that they can come forward with information and be paid for it. And so that creates a global manhunt for the truth, which is only possible when you do effectively collection at scale with lots and lots of people who are always looking for the same guy. And this is how reward programs have worked at the Department of State. When you have a big enough reward pool, it becomes a real risk for the subject of that reward.
Yeah, what was the? I don't know if it was states reward, but it was Maduro was like 50 million or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild, and no wonder somebody gave him up. But to your point, money, there is enough money that somebody will be incentivized to betray. But the reward program also, to your point of technology, we live in a world where everything we do creates an electronic signature. And so if you can agitate somebody enough, and agitation through the form of hey, there's a reward. You need to start talking to people or moving around because you don't want anybody to catch you or see you. Um, there's an electronic signature that is occurring probably. And there are ways to observe this electronic signature. So the more you agitate, the more pressure you put through a reward program, the more agitation that can occur, the higher electronic signature can be observed. Maybe that can lead to a proof of life.
100%. And it also signals a long-term commitment to truth. So
Mm-hmm.
reward programs are not instant. We live in a world where everything is instant. People want instant everything, right? And that's not how reward programs work. These are long-term commitments to truth and justice. We want the reward program to grow over time. Our reward pool grows with each dollar that's put into it, and it becomes a signal that we're here to stay.
Mhm. That's
And
how the State Department does it. You have these rewards that have been around for 20 plus years,
yeah,
and they effectively work. And you've seen the we observe this is the way you disseminate a reward to the population changes. The State Department started out with posters and matchbooks and giving people out on streets. Advanced into the age of advertising, digital advertising, where you can put Facebook ads and Google ads and all kinds of things and SMS and email. And so as community grows, technology also grows, and so we get more capability through time.
and as people come forward, we're experiencing protecting sources. So if someone
That's
has
true.
information, maybe you guys saw our posts and you're checking out our YouTube channel. We take source protection really seriously. This is the foundation of the whole technology system. If someone comes forward, it's encrypted with end-to-end security. So only we can see those messages directly, and there's multiple ways to get them. So you can either use our secure drop or you can do natively on platform. In either case, it is information that's protected, and we take that very seriously. If you're creating your own campaign, we can't see it. So if you make a campaign for a reward that matters to you, and it's a question that you're trying to solve, closed horizon can't see your messages back and forth. They're encrypted end to end. So you'll get a key, and that key allows you to decrypt your messages, and we don't have access to those keys and couldn't get them if we wanted to. So it's designed to protect sources that we interact with on closed horizon, and then also the campaign creators as well.
Yeah, and that's from what we've seen in the government. That's always a source's biggest concern is if I tell you this, what's going to happen to me, and how are you protecting? And so Ryan and I have done this in reality with really sensitive sources and really touchy situations, really high profile actors. And so when we say that we take it seriously, that's true, but we also have experience doing this, and that's even more important than just saying that we care. And we have a network of partners who care about this as well, and so we can always leverage our greater community who understands this world.
100%, man. So rewards work. People come forward with information when they can get paid for it. It's the oldest incentive in the world. You put money out there and say, hey, we'll pay you if you tell us this thing. People who know that thing are going to come forward. We've seen it over and over and over again. And we know it's going to work for Closed Horizon, for our campaign, and then also for anyone that builds one. So if you've got a question that's important to you that you want an answer for, and your community cares about it too, create your reward campaign and put it out there. Put it on your socials, put it out to your community, your friends, your family, get them to back your reward pool. And over time, that reward pool grows to something substantial enough that someone says, all right, look, I'm willing to come forward and say this thing that I know in exchange for what's available in the reward pool. And it's up to you to decide if you believe that information to be true. And if it is, you pay them out.
Yeah, and I'll also add that if you have a question or you deeply care about something, but you don't fully understand how this works or how to engage with a source or how to lead a conversation or how to do this at scale, um, feel free to contact Ryan and I. We can help you and we can walk you through things. We have no problem supporting questions that need answers to, and if you need support, message us directly, and we can help you set up a campaign and teach you the best ways to navigate that.
100%. Uh, all right. So Thanks for listening, all the truth seekers out there. We love you guys, and we'll keep bringing more information about this kind of thing and why rewards work and how you can build your own campaigns in future episodes. So thanks for listening.
See you guys.